officially all here. Welcome everybody to the Mother Wound and Ancestral Healing Masterclass. And I am so honored to be here with all of you today because I know how important this is, and I know that you were guided here for a reason. So welcome, and I would love to start by just hearing where everybody's joining us from. So you can go ahead and click to type on the chat. At the bottom of your screen, it should say chat. And we'll be connecting. We're going to be very interactive here today. So try not to multitask if you can avoid it so that you can really get the most from it. And this is sacred space here together. So where are you guys attending from? I'm in California. I'm in sunny California, as you can see, sun. We've got Carla's here right in Sacramento, yay, and April is in Texas. And we've got Gail in Australia, and Annie in Laguna Niguel, SoCal. Glenda's in Canada, yay! And Heidi, hi Heidi. Heidi's in central Pennsylvania, and Sandra's in, I don't know where that is in California, northern or southern Nipomo. We got Michelle in St. Louis. And Claire is in Warwick, England. Bless you for staying awake so long. Oh my goodness, let's send some extra love to Claire for staying up past midnight with us. That is dedication, right? Either that or you're a huge night owl, or maybe a little bit of both. So, okay. And then we have, wow, more folks from Lake Tahoe and Oregon. That's great. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm so glad so many of you managed to get here with the new link. All right, cool. Every now and then I'll click to accept more people. Fantastic. So you're in the right place today so we can lean in on this and see if this sounds like you, right? If you sometimes or a lot of the time have a hard time receiving, anytime you hear something that's you can be like, that's me, or yes, you know, whatever you might want to type in the chat. A hard time receiving. Who has a hard time receiving sometimes? What about setting healthy boundaries in your relationships? Who sometimes is an overgiver? Have you been guilty of kind of overgiving and putting everybody else first? You may have some unresolved issues with your mother. That's the first thing we think of when we hear mother wound, right? Although there's a lot more to the mother wound than that. And that might be true whether or not your mom is on the other side or she's still alive, or even if it's been years since you've seen her or you don't even know her. But if you have feelings that come up of feeling sad or angry or triggered or energetically drained around your mother or issues relating to that, then this is also for you. It's also for you if you have some dramas around your own children, perhaps losses or conflicts, or you feel estranged, or you wish you could become a mother but didn't, abortions, miscarriages, all of that. Or what if you sense that there are some really old patterns and energy traces that are holding you back today, even though they may have originated in childhood or even before that. If you have issues you've been struggling with your whole life, then they didn't even originate in this lifetime. And you might have been working on that. Who feels like they've been working on that stuff for years? Who's been working on your stuff, right? For years or for decades, like how many books you're gonna read, how many therapy sessions you're gonna go to. And what if you feel disconnected from yourself, from your purpose, from source, from goddess, from your own body, from the earth, or from your power and your purpose? How much of this is resonating and ringing a bell, right? It's like, wow, I just rattled off like 10 or 12 things, and probably more than one of them might apply to you. So I'm gonna pop over and check. Lots of bells ringing, losing myself for others, right? Many of us women do that in relationships. Been ignoring it. Like, yeah, I know this is all true, but I've been ignoring it because I haven't been prioritizing it, or I haven't known what else to do about it, right? Old patterns, oh my God, working for years. Absolutely. So you can see why I'm so passionate about this. So I would invite you, sisters, to type or say out loud or both if you're ready to be free from your past and you're ready to also be free from other people's energies. Go ahead and type or say or both, I'm ready to be free. I'm ready to be free. Woohoo. Awesome. And, you know, I really, really want to acknowledge you. I'm going to take a moment here to just really honor you for the self-love and the courage that it takes for you to be here and to really look deeper at this. So give yourself a hug, give yourself a high five. Because it's time, right? It's probably past time. And you totally deserve to be healthy, to be happy, to be healed, and to have harmony. So you might want to write those 3 H's down. Healed, happy, and harmony. And that's what healing your mother wound and your ancestral wounds is really all about. So give yourself lots of hugs throughout. By the way, you can stand up and move, and you can drink, and you can do energy work on yourself. Just experience this, you know, however you really need to. Beautiful. Now, you're showing up here today for yourself, right? But you're also showing up for others by doing so. Because, and I've seen this happen every single time. When you really get your mother wounds healed and all your ancestral and karmic wounds healed, they're all interconnected. What happens is you actually bring a healthier, happier version of you into all of your relationships. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense, right? And you also are more able to be easily aligned and more powerfully aligned because you have more of your personal power and more of your personal energy with your purpose. How many of you sisters would like to step more powerfully and prosperously into your purpose? You can type me. Me, right? Me, I do. And how many of you would like to have more harmony in your relationships? All types of relationships, love as well as your family relationships, and even in your friendships. Because there's another thing which we won't have too much time into deeply today, but I want to mention this concept of the sister wound. And are there any of you who feel like you've ever been hurt by another woman? Yeah, and that hurts too, right? Sometimes that even hurts worse than being hurt by a man, am I right? There's a different kind of pain, there's a different kind of betrayal that happens when you feel like you really trusted, you know, a soul sister or a friend or a sister with your heart and soul, and she's not getting you, she's not seeing you. You feel like you're the one trying to hold up the whole relationship. Or you actually feel betrayed in some way. And healing the sister wound as well as the mother wound is so much about what this is all about. So you are guided here for all of this. So if you are ready to say yes to healing for yourself and also for all future generations, whether or not you're a mother, if you're a mother or a grandmother, then obviously that's extremely relevant for you. But we all have impact on the future generations, right, in different ways. Then go ahead and type, I'm ready for healing for me and for all generations, or healing for me and all generations, healing for me and all generations. All generations, yes, 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 yes. Big yes. Perfect. So here's what you're going to get here today. We have probably about 90 minutes, roughly. It might be a little less, it might be a little more. We go with the flow. I'm not in charge. I show up and I get out of the way. So some of you know me know that I talk about that a lot. So what you're going to get here today is you're going to discover the links between the mother wound and ancestral trauma with all the challenges in your life right now. You're going to get crystal clear about your own personal mother wounds. both quantitatively and qualitatively. You're going to learn what are the 9 gates to ancestral and karmic healing. 9 gates. And you're going to learn why is the mother wound so essential for women, for empaths, healers, messengers, and light workers to heal, and why now. And please stay on if you can. Please try to stay on until the end, because at the very end, the being that's the divine being that's going to have the last words for all of you and all of us is actually the Divine Mother. So the very last words you hear won't be me and it won't be you. It'll be the Divine Mother herself. And so we're saving that for our dessert. Best save the best for last, right? And of course, there's so much to this. As you can see, you're already like feeling, wow, there's so many aspects to this. There's so much more than I can share with you in 90 minutes. Even if I had 2 hours, it would still not quite be enough. So I promise, for those of you who would like to know how you can go deeper, I promise to share that with you a little bit later. Would that be okay? So you'll get as much as you can today. You'll definitely get value right here. And then later, I'll let you know how you can go deeper. Great. So is that okay, guys? You can give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So let's start by taking a deep breath. You might want to place your hands on your heart. And I call upon the Divine Mother of all to bless each and every one of us hearing these words across time and space. We are in this sacred energy of sisterhood, of compassion, and of miracles. And we ask that you help us to receive your blessings in all the ways that are perfect for us and for the highest good of all, so that we can live as the light of love that we truly are, so that we can experience greater health, wealth, love, and happiness, so that we can co-create more harmony in all of our relationships and heaven here on earth. Amen and a women. Amen and a women. And you might want to type amen, a women. Thank you for allowing me to share this prayer. So can I share with you about how I got here? I know some of you have been in my circle for a while and you kind of know about my mother wound healing journey, and some of you don't. Some of you just found out about this and never heard anything about mother wound before 10 minutes ago. And you don't know a thing about who is this Sage Taylor Kingsley person. Why is she talking to me about this? So give me a thumbs up if it's okay if I take just a few minutes. This isn't going to be like all about Sage, but just a few minutes to share with you why I'm here and why I'm so passionate about it. Thank you for that permission. So I've been on a spiritual journey since I was 15, and I had my first out-of-body experience and near-death experience. And I've been in sacred service, helping thousands of people. I think I could probably say tens of thousands of people. I'm not counting exactly, but a lot. As a healer, as an intuitive, as a messenger, and as a spiritual teacher for 26 years now, actually. I'm really honored that in 2014, I was voted the #1 law of attraction teacher in the world by people in 18 countries. And I'm a best-selling author, a 6-figure soul entrepreneur, and a channel of Archangel Michael and the Divine Mother. Thank you. But to be really vulnerable with you, the reason that I'm sharing this with you about mother wound healing is that I had not 1, but 2 really severe mother wounds. Both of my mothers were sources of deep pain. And the reason I say both is that Who knows why? Because I was adopted, right? I was adopted. I actually have a birth mother who found me again when I was 21, and an adoptive mother. And they're about as opposite from each other as you can imagine. One is a kind of free-flowing humanitarian writer, creative Berkeley hippie who loves animals. And the other is a Jewish New York mother, classic Jewish New York, and has very different values. More focused on immediate family, more focused on material success and education, things like that. So very different from each other. But the problems that I had with them go way beyond kind of like the average person. And I know that a lot of you who are called here have, you know, each of us our own kind of story of what our mother wounds feel like. I'll just give you two quick examples. At my first wedding, when I was 25, my adoptive mother refused to come to my wedding and instead said she was sitting Shiva and she no longer had a daughter. So I was dead to her. Sitting Shiva is a thing Jewish people do when someone dies. So at my first wedding, instead of having my mother there to celebrate with me and bless me into this new chapter of my life, I felt incredible grief. Flash forward 25 years. It's interesting that these were at 25-year increments. I hope my 75th birthday is really good. I'm putting that intention out there. Well, I've done a lot of mother wound healing, so it's going to be good. But on my 50th birthday, my birth mother didn't show up at my intimate lunch that she was invited to. So this lunch was supposed to be about celebrating my first 50 years and kind of blessing me for my next 50 years. And she just didn't show up. Now it turns out there was a communication mix-up, there was a prioritization issue, blah, blah, blah. But what actually happened in my experience is I'm in a restaurant expecting my birth mother to show up, and she didn't show up. And instead of enjoying my birthday lunch and feeling loved and seen and heard and treasured, right, which is what we all want, I was devastated. And I spent about an hour bawling my eyes out, crying so hard like someone had died. And I actually spent 3 years in a deep, deep grief from that. And I couldn't have much to do with her. Do you ever have someone in your life who you kind of have to take a huge step back from? Do you know what I'm talking about? So I had to really distance myself from her. And what I realized is I couldn't count on either of my mothers to be responsible for even 50% of the healing of my mother wound. Does that make sense? I couldn't expect them to really be like full participants in it. And after several years of waking up crying day after day, not every day, but often, too often, I finally decided I needed to make healing this wound a priority in my life. I needed to get support, and I needed to really deal with it, because until I would deal with it, I would continue to have struggles of health, of money, disharmony, and pain, emotional pain. And do you know, how many of you know how draining it is to be emotionally in grief, right? It's exhausting. And it's a lot of work trying to put up your boundaries all the time and trying to clear people's energy all the time. Am I right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's like so much work. So I woke up one day and I just said, okay, I'm making this a priority. This comes front and center. And I'm going to get whatever support I need. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm going to heal my mother wounds. So today, I'm happy to share with you that I have improvements in all of these areas of my life. And I also have tremendous harmony, like 95% of the time, with both of my mothers. Can I get like a woohoo for that? Can I go from sitting Shiva and not showing up to my wedding to actually being able to be with both of them and to have my heart open? And my mother, my birth mother, actually, she didn't even know that I was doing all this deep mother wound healing because I didn't feel safe to share it with her, right, at the time. So I found other ways to do it, which I get to share with, you know, with the sisters who get to be with me here and in the program. And she said to my sister, my biological sister, I don't know what's going on with Taylor. She calls me Taylor. But I feel so much more comfortable being with her. I no longer feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I no longer feel like I'm constantly apologizing. I'm like, no matter what I do, she's just super hypersensitive and she's just like angry and frustrated with me. Like, no matter what I do, it's not good enough. I no longer feel like that. I feel like I can just be with her and we can just have a great time together and we can just love each other. So she felt it, right? From me doing, thank you, Susan. She felt it on her side. And I've seen that happen with my clients too. Like the first time I ever did a mother wound healing was actually an in-person session. Gosh, have I been doing this long? I guess I have. I think it was about 8 years ago. And we did this really in-depth like retreat, you know, together at her home. And her mother knew nothing about this. And the next day her mother calls her and goes, what were you doing yesterday between like 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon? And my client says, why do you ask, Mom? And she says, well, I just suddenly felt the need to take a nap. And as I was lying down, I had all this pink light and I kept seeing your face. And I felt so much love in my heart, like so much love for you. Like, it was just unbelievable, indescribable. And I wondered if you were thinking about me or something. And of course we were doing the healing. So trust me on this, ladies, it's not just healing you, it's also healing the other generations too before you, your children. It's just unlimited, the healing, when you can really get to those root causes. So I want to share with you what I call like my main message. Okay, like if we could encapsulate all of this incredible power and juiciness and love into like a few sentences, this would be my core message with you. And you can receive it into your heart. You might want to close your eyes, whatever feels best for you. When we heal our mother wound, we heal our relationship with the sacred feminine, with the earth, with our bodies, with our innate right to thrive and to be fully alive. We are set free from chains of pain and years of fears, from many lifetimes, levels, and layers of struggle, judgment, shame, and hiding. We liberate our very souls and we reclaim our power and our ability to love ourselves and life itself. How does that feel right now? Like really breathe that in. On a scale from 1 being really low energy or low vibration and 10 being like, ah, you know, like the heavens are opening up and your heart is just singing and you're dancing, you know, that would be 10. What's your energy right now? What's landing for you so far? I'd love to hear what's standing out for you so far. 12. I got 5, 10, and 9. Claim it and own it. Lots of different numbers. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to keep going higher and deeper. Now, I would love to give you a chance to identify, and this is going to take maybe just 5 or 10 minutes, but to identify exactly to what degree you still have a mother wound. Yeah, motherwoundhealing.com/quiz is where you go. And it's okay to go back to it later and take it again and kind of play around with it some more. I think the important point is that you're getting a scope, right? Of, wow, there's these 20, the original quiz I wrote, as some of you guys know, had 40 questions. And that was a little bit of work. And thank you for your help with that, Sage Judy, who was very, very helpful with honing that down. I appreciate your help. Judith is an amazing therapist. Getting it down to 20 categories, it's still probably more than you realized, right? How many of you guys would say, yeah, there's more pieces to this than I kind of originally thought? Because I think the original thought is that the mother wound is about our relationships with our mother, right? It's kind of the first thing that we think. But my definition, I'm going to share with you my definition, is, I think I shared that with you yet. Hang on, I'm looking for my definition. There it is. Okay, so here's my definition of the mother wound. All unhealed emotional, social, and spiritual pain about your mother, about yourself as a mother, and about your maternal and ancestral lineage patterns. That's definition number one. Definition number two is energetic disconnection from the divine mother, the earth, pleasure, and passion. And it might be resonating for you more definition number one, that's more on this earth plane and social, or definition number two, that's more on that spiritual level. How many of you resonate with both definitions? Just curious, you can type in the chat, like both or one or two. Awesome. So here's the thing. You don't have to keep carrying these burdens around anymore. What if you could just be liberated fairly quickly? Maybe not in an hour, but pretty quickly, because you've been dealing with this stuff. How many of you guys feel like you've been dealing with this your whole life? You raise your hand. Just go like this. Whole life. Yeah. And how many of you it's like, maybe not my whole life, but decades? It's decades. Yeah, pretty much almost everybody's whole life, a lot or decades. And how many of you feel like it's probably accurate that it's even more than this lifetime? That it's like, yeah, no, I can see it in my mother. I can see it, or I sense it from past lives even. So that's the key, is that you need to get to the original cause. And honestly, from so far what I've seen, I don't like to say always or never. I never say never, right? Or always say always. But thus far, in doing healing for thousands of people in 26 years, the older an issue is, and the heavier it is, and the darker the energy is, the more likely it is that you're going to need support or help, whatever the correct form of that is. Usually it's more than one thing even, to heal it. Does that make sense? Because if it's something that's newer or more on the surface, then things like affirmations, things like doing your self energy work, you know, things like prayer, things like visualization and journaling, and, you know, setting your intention, just being like, I'm done with this, right? You know, like those can help a lot. I do all of those things too, and they do help, but they only go so far because they only go so deep. So I want to share with you some tastes of some experiential stuff. Would that be okay? Other than the quiz. Oh, hi, Russ. So nice to see Russ and Eleni. Some beautiful, amazing people are here, and lots of new wonderful folks. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're all diligent with the link thing. It was a good opportunity for me to get really fired up with the universe today. Like, I am not letting this tech thing stop me. We're going forward. And I know a lot of you are hearing the replay. Let's all wave to the replay land people. Hi, replay land. We love you too. You're just as important. So I want to share with you the 9 gates of healing. Does that sound good? You hear about the 9 gates? Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to get to have a little taste of 2 of them you know, and then I'll certainly share with you what the others are. So the first gate to healing the mother wound and all your ancestral and karmic patterns is, drum roll please, can I get a drum roll? Thank you very much. It's healing your inner child. Healing your inner child and letting her out. Letting your inner child out. Your inner child is too inner. Am I right? When's the last time you got really silly and really goofy? Do I have your permission to get really silly with you right now? Who's willing to get silly? Okay, wave at me if you're willing to get silly. Okay, we're gonna do something really silly. You're never gonna see this on any other masterclass. I guarantee. So, all right, lean in and put your fingers on your sides of your face like this. No one can hear you, by the way. So whatever weird noises you make, no one's actually hearing you except for like your cat or your dog or whoever's there near you. But we're not hearing you. You get completely noisy. All right, we're gonna do like this. Go. Yeah, actually do it. It kind of makes you laugh. Doesn't it just make you laugh and smile? You know, little kids do stuff like that all the time. Look at Carla's big smile. I love it. Beautiful. I love your smile, Diana. You guys are gorgeous. You're all so beautiful. Right? Susan has this huge smile. Look at you. You're beautiful. By the way, if you want to see all of us instead of just me, you can click on the top where it says gallery view, and then you can see our whole tribe. And we have like, I might be around 100 people or something here. So I want you to look at someone next to you and give them a high five and say, get silly girl, or get silly boy. Get silly girl. Get silly boy. Judith, get silly girl. Get silly Rochelle, get silly girl. Boom. All right. We have been conditioned, all of us, to be too effing serious. Okay. And even with our spiritual development, it's like it doesn't have to be somber. It can be important. Something can be important to you without it being somber, right? So we need to get out of our heads. We need to get more into our hearts. We need to get more into our bodies. We need to express ourselves more. We need to not feel guilty when we're just goofing off. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being silly and playing. George Bernard Shaw had a great quote. He said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Exactly. Okay. So there's one takeaway for you today, in addition to identifying your mother wounds and understanding more about this whole big picture, is you need to play. You need to get silly. Okay. So we're going to do a kind of a short process now. And this is a taste, right? There's lots more, right? I want you to have a taste right now of saying hello to your inner child. You can close your eyes. You can do it through writing and journaling if you like. And we're going to say hello right now. Just say hi. She's probably kind of bored. She might be lonely. She might be surprised to see you, or she might be really happy to see you. She might be kind of mistrusting, like, who are you after all these years? What do you want? Nobody cares about me. What do you want? Just notice, what's her response when you say hi? Give her a chance to express herself to you. And take a minute or two to just really reconnect with her. You might tell her you love her. You might say, I'm here. I want to play. I want to be your friend. I'm your big sister or your big brother. You might say, let's play. How can I help you? Or she might be taking you on a little adventure. Maybe you have some gifts for her. Maybe she wants to eat ice cream. What would she really like to do? Invite her to come out and be with you. And offer her a place. Offer her a nice, wonderful beautiful place that she loves. Maybe it's like a room in your heart. Maybe it's a special playground. Maybe it's a forest. Maybe there's some special friends there with her too, like animals or magical creatures. And then open your eyes and write down on a piece of paper, or you can type in our chat or both, how can you let your inner child out more? What would she like? I want to tell you a fun example while you're getting yours and typing, writing it down so you remember. I recently bought for my 89-year-old, half blind, adopted mother, my adoptive mother, Jewish mother from New York. She's half blind, she can kind of see, but only if things are really big and really dark, and she has like special light goggles on and stuff. And we got coloring books. They actually make large print coloring books. We got some large print mandalas and some large crayons, so they're easy for her. And we did some coloring the other day, and it was so fun. So I was able to let my inner child out and do something that I used to love to do when I was a little girl. And what you used to love to do when you were little, that is also an indicator of what you need more of, right? Whether it's reading or writing, or one of my clients, after we had the inner child healing, she was surprised her little girl wanted to go to the swing. And she's like, I haven't been on a swing for, 30 years. I don't even know if I know how. I'm like, of course you know how. Just go, right? Now in COVID times, you could probably go to a park and go on a swing, right? What does your little girl or little boy want to do? Another one of my clients wanted to, her inner child wanted to go to the park and feed the ducks. And one that my inner child likes to do is building things, like with Legos. Any other Lego fans, or like train sets, right? Like making things and building things. What about cooking and baking? That's kind of a fun inner child, playful, hands-on kind of thing, right? Because your inner child likes to get messy and likes to dance, right? What does your inner child like to do? I want to kind of take a peek at the chat of what your inner child is suggesting. Yeah, I want to see what you guys are sharing. Art class, being held, cooking, playing in the dirt, playing with the dogs. Yes, the dogs and the cats. My inner child loves playing with our puppies, and she also gets really happy to see silly animal videos. Does anyone else love silly animal videos? Right? You're like, oh my God, look at that. How did that cat do that? Or how did that dog do that? Just cracks us up, right? So we're going to be sharing more. Those of you who are deciding to join us for the intensive, we're going to share more with you guys about that later. But we're going to share things to keep our inner children happy for our whole journey. Singing. Yes, Liat, exactly. And that is such a perfect example. I'm so glad you mentioned the singing, because one of my clients just had a session with her like last week. Her name's Rachel. She's in the UK. And we had this really powerful session with the Divine Mother and with her high self, and messages from the angels. And at the end, I just asked her one simple question, Spirit through me, right? What is the one thing that you need to do every day? What is the one thing? This is a question for you too. What is the one thing that when you get to do that, your whole day is like lifted up? And I just asked her that question, and I wrote down the word that I got for her. And she got it. For her, it was sing. And she actually had training as a professional singer. And when we came on the session that day, she said, well, checking in, right? Like, how have you been doing for the last month since our last session? And she's like, well, this and that, and this is going on with this, and this going on with that. And, but I haven't been singing. And then we did this huge whole amazing process, right? So anyway, following up with her since her session, which was about a week or two ago, she's singing now every day, and she's so much happier. She also feels so much more creative, and she's more patient with her kids and feels more connected with her kids because she feels happier. And it doesn't really require that much time. It could be 2 minutes a day, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. don't you deserve that? Don't you deserve to feel happy? So make an intention right now of what is that one thing or those 2 or 3 things. That might be some things that you do once in a while with your inner child, or some things that she needs to do on a regular basis. So that is gate number 1. And obviously there's lots more to do with that. Like next steps would be actually having a soul retrieval with your inner child and developing more of an ongoing relationship with your inner child. So gate 2, and I want to make sure I get to at least 2 gates, and then I'll share more with you, and we might have some Q&A, and we want to hear the channeling, right? Lots to do. So gate 2 of the 9 gates to healing is forgiveness and loving kindness, right? Elaine's nodding. Yeah, you get it. Joy is nodding. You get it. Now we're going to do a quick forgiveness exercise. Would that be okay? Joyce, be up for that? You do a forgiveness exercise. Okay, it's short and sweet. It's powerful. And there are other, obviously, deeper forgiveness practices. I love sharing from Eastern and Western traditions and really helping go deeper with that. This is one that's that can be done in kind of a quick, getting a taste of it sort of format. And you might be familiar with it. We're going to do our version of it. And it's Ho'oponopono. How many of you guys are familiar with Ho'oponopono? Right. And did you know what the word means? It means making it right. So it's like making it right. And Pono means right in Hawaiian. I lived in Hawaii for 2 years. And it's more than just right, like as in correct. It's right, like right as in from the heart, you know? Like the energy's right. I'm getting chills right now with you. So we're going to do this together. And I'm going to say a line, and then you can repeat it. I'm not going to unmute you because sometimes people have noise in the background, right? Like the dog and the parrot and the husband and the 6-year-old or whatever. We understand, that's life. With a large group like this, we're just going to, not unmute you. But please know that we're hearing you, and I'll also put the words in the chat for you. So here we go. We're going to do our Ho'oponopono. And however you do this, like whoever you're directing it to, just trust how that is. Maybe it's toward yourself or a specific person. Maybe it's toward the universe, or however you experience it. You can have different kind of foci for it. So here we go. The words have power. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive myself, my ancestors, and all beings for any and all trespasses, whether done knowingly or unknowingly. Our life contact is free, clear, centered, balanced, and restored to perfect harmony now. Like breathe that in. How does that feel? What are you present to in this moment of love? Feel free to type and share with us. Russell says honest, sincere, and freeing. Gail says pain in my chest. And Gail, I'm so glad that you're getting to go on the intensive journey with us, because when we have that pain, it just indicates to us that there's more healing needed, right? And that's okay. So love yourself with the pain, send love to that, and be with that. Just breathe and be, and that's okay. Oh, how beautiful, Ron. You can share that with everybody. That's beautiful. Diana says calming and freeing. Carla says peaceful and freeing. And Carla, that's so beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad you're going to be with us. Relief. Lighter. Sadness. Love. So as we do more of these deeper levels of healing, sometimes where there isn't a lot of junk in the way, we'll just go straight to, we'll be able to tap straight into our true being, which is joy and peace and love and bliss and God and light. That's who you really are. Raise your hand if you know that's who you really are. Raise your other hand if you're willing to know more that that's who you really are. Give yourself a hug with those two beautiful hands of yours. That is who you are, absolutely. And when we do those kinds of practices, which we have lots more for you, of course, when you tap in there and you don't feel the peace and the love and the joy and the light and the you don't feel that highest level of frequency of your I amness, then it just is showing you that there's more healing needed with that. Does that make sense? Because the love and the light and the bliss and the peace and the joy, it's still there. It's just underneath something. There's another layer. And that's what's so amazing to me about this work, is how many layers and levels there are. How many of you all feel like you're farther ahead than you were 10 years ago? Right? Thank God. Thank God, right? Yeah, and even maybe than a year ago or 20 years ago. And do you also know that there's more healing to be done, right? Because we don't know what it is that we don't know. We kind of have our own blinders on, myself included. And I know that those of us who have a lot of tools and have been on the path, especially healers, I'm going to talk about healers and light workers and empaths and messengers, we are being called to step up and to shout out and to shine forth much more brightly. We're at this time of incredible acceleration, incredible quickening, as Archangel Michael calls it. We have so much intensity in the world right now, right? And we feel that. Sometimes we feel that weight of the world. We feel that sadness. We feel that grief. And sometimes we feel a little helpless about it. Like, well, what can I do? I'm just one person. One of the best things you can do for healing the world is, what do you think? It's healing yourself. It's getting your own healing. And we can also be doing healing for the world. And we also need to be taking right action. Absolutely. And putting your healing front and center and really making it a priority. Saying, no matter what's going on in this crazy world, I still deserve to feel more peaceful and happy. If you know that you deserve to feel more peaceful and happy, go ahead and type that. I invite you to type that. I deserve to feel more peaceful and happy. And you really can. And I'm so delighted to share that with you, that my capacity to let the negative stuff roll off of me or to process it more quickly, it's just vastly improved just in the last year or two, since really, really getting my mother wounds so much more healed. And there are a lot of beautiful Buddhist practices that I love to share too, and shamanic practices for that forgiveness, for the loving kindness, for that living from the heart, for that healing our own hearts. And welcome to those of you who've been still popping in. And you will get a replay of this too. But of course, live is awesome. So blessings to everybody who made time for this today. So what are your biggest insights? We're at about the 1 hour mark. What are your biggest insights right now, so far, from all of this? There's no wrong answer, right? What's standing out for you from everything that we've had so far on this journey today? There might be something that it was an important reminder. There might be a whole new reframe or a whole new perspective or a widening or an expanding or kind of an opening of hope. Wow, this one piece connects to all of this. It connects to my health and my purpose. It connects to my relationships, my spiritual development, I mean, everything that you want. So I'd love to see what your insights are. Mother wound seems bigger than I'd thought. Yeah, it's actually a lot bigger than I realized too. I thought I was in pretty good shape until I realized I wasn't, you know. It's possible to heal. I'm not lost. Yeah. Real deep self-love. Absolutely, absolutely. My beautiful sister. Need to play more. I deserve to feel peaceful and happy. Peaceful and joy-filled every single moment of my life. So beautiful, Susan. Absolutely. I had a breakthrough, the inner child, about not being heard on my mother's side and father. He lost most of his hearing since age 21. Okay. The mother wound healing will heal all female relationships. Let's all just give Carla a high five on that. So true. It is so true, and it is so important. And even when I made a commitment to lead mother wound healing, both at first I was doing that with private practice clients only, with a 100% success rate, by the way, 100%. Ah, so wonderful. And now I'm going to be doing a group, right? I didn't know that it also was related to sister wound. And yes, there's father wound, you know, too, but this connection between the mother wound and the sister wound is so important. They really, really connected to our divine feminine energy and to feeling supported by women and feeling loved by women. So if you are tired of the unequal friendships and the drama, and you know, the drama princesses in your life, the energy vampires, who's done with all that? Who wants to be done with all that? It's like, enough of that, right? You deserve to be with people who totally see you, appreciate you, value you, honor you, and celebrate you, and treasure you. And they do exist, and they're your soul family. And you're guided here to this for a reason. So as you can see, so much connects to it. And I want to share, I think it might be helpful to share with you a little bit about what happened for Myra, my client. When she first started, she did a VIP, you know, one-on-one in just 3 or 4 months. I think it was like 4 months. And when she first came to me, she was in a relationship, but she wasn't so sure about the relationship because there was a lot of kind of disconnection and communication challenges. And since getting the mother wound healing, she wasn't expecting this. She wasn't expecting that it would improve her relationship. But she says her partner, and I don't even think he knew that much about that she was getting the healing, you know. But he suddenly became more affectionate. He suddenly was more tuned in with her energy, and she was able to bring a more open heart and be more in a state of appreciation. And then it becomes this positive spiral, right? So much energy moving through her that her creativity just exploded, and her relationships with her children, and I think there's 1 or 2 grandchildren as well, improved, where she was so much less triggered, a lot more patient with them, and just bringing that much more of an open heart, expressing herself from her heart. You can see, I'll share with you where we can learn more in just a minute, but she used to be over giving and over putting herself last. And she said, finally, I get to do me first. What a difference. I feel like all my inner wounds and traumas are gone, and I'm allowing more happiness in every way. And she provided a testimony, and we're sharing about it 6 months after she had her mother wound healings, and she still felt more connected with her partner, more creative, more, you know, just high vibrational happiness and energy. And so it's because it's so deep, that's why it really lasts. So let's just take a moment to be in a receptive mode of gratitude for all of this learning and all of what we're opening to and what we're expanding into and deepening into next. And so far today, right, I've had a chance to share with you some of the keys, some insights, some stories about ancestral healing. And we didn't talk that much about the past life healing. And I do want to just put a little spotlight on that sometimes the original causes are not only in your past, your childhood, in utero, your conception, soul choices before you embodied. And sometimes they're about your ancestral lineage, stuff that your ancestors had, you know, back in the days of the Spanish Inquisition, or, you know, slavery in Egypt. I mean, it could be like anything, anywhere, right? One of my clients was healing from the the famine in Ireland, and the beliefs about there's never enough, you know, the poverty beliefs and things like that. So all of this, but also some of it is past life. Now, I'm just curious, because I get a really strong intuitive hit on this. How many of you women feel like you've had at least one life where you were killed for being a witch, or a spiritual teacher of some sort, like a midwife, or, you know, a shaman or whatever? Almost everybody. So we are going to heal that too, those of you who come on a deeper journey. The problem is, you know, hearing about this isn't quite enough. It's wonderful to be inspired and uplifted, and to feel hope, but you've had decades, or even lifetimes, and maybe even hundreds of years, or maybe even thousands of years, I'm not exaggerating, of dealing with this, of the negative fears, the shame patterns, you know, running the show in your psyche and in your energy and through your bloodlines. So it takes more than, you know, 90 minutes to unravel all of that in a really big enough, deep enough, and permanent enough way. And what I really want for you is for you to feel not only inspired and more hopeful. Hopefully you all feel more inspired and hopeful. Joan of Arc, yes. Thank you. Absolutely. I know. I totally feel that too. I totally feel that. I want you to be really transformed and liberated. Transformed and liberated. Okay. We don't know what we don't know, and we can only see through our own filters. And I know from personal experience that, you know, sometimes it takes someone else kind of holding us by the hand who's been on a similar journey. You know, it might be a step ahead, or 10 or 20 steps ahead, or whatever it might be, to help us have that courage and to feel held. I personally feel that for women, because this is such a divine energy oriented issue, I kind of want to say that you probably, for, you know, women, you probably want any support person to be a woman. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's relevant, you know? So, and I want to invite you to explore a next step, of course. Now, I feel really vulnerable when I get to this part of, you know, sharing at like a free event. Part of me is like, oh, I should just go be quiet and go away. You know, I don't want to annoy them. And I get a little like nervous or scared. But here's the thing. I know the part of me that's bigger than that knows that it would be a disservice to not at least show you a portal, right? And offer you a key, and then it's up to you. If it resonates for you, if this is the right key and a right portal, then you will use that key and you'll go through the portal. So I'm not going to allow my own fears or energy traces about playing small to get in the way of me fulfilling my mission. And my mission is to literally help millions of women heal their mother wounds, their past lives, all of their ancestral lineages, and really fully step into our power with liberation and elation as the goddesses that we are. That is my mission. So would it be okay, I want to get your permission, would it be okay if I shared with you from my heart about how you could go deeper with this and get a deeper level of support if it feels to you like this isn't all there is today, and this is a gate in the door to something deeper? It'd be okay if I took a few minutes to share with you how you could go deeper. To give me a thumbs up if, yeah, sure, I'd like to hear what that would be and learn more about that. Or you can type yes, yes, please, thank you. Great, so thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share. So the place that I'm going to share on the screen, and you can also go there yourself too, if you want to kind of be your own tour guide on the page. It's brand new. We just got the website up a couple of days ago. All of this is very exciting and new. motherwoundhealing.com/temple. And at first it wasn't going to be called a temple. And then I got this really, really strong download that this is a temple. The Mother Wound Healing Intensive is a temple. It's a sacred goddess temple. So I'm honored to share that with you. I'm going to give you a chance to pull that up and just give you a sort of chance to look through that. Sorry, I'm a little slow sometimes. We all have our human moments, right? Kind of my little, oh, moment. And that's okay. I'm allowed to be slow and human. Sometimes we need that. Give ourselves permission. So yeah, it kind of looks like that. That's what it should look like. You should be able to see that now. So if you guys could show me a thumbs up, you gals. I have to relearn my languaging on that. Right? Stop saying guys for like plural. Show me those if you can see, then, and it says Mother Wound Healing at the top, and then it says experience emotional liberation and joyous soul freedom. Is that right? Are you guys seeing that? Gals, seeing that? Thank you. Okay, good. So we're in the same place together. Awesome. So you have a good sense. Obviously we're not going to sit here and read, every word. The first thing I want to invite you to do is just tap your third eye a few times. Just tap your third eye, place a hand over your heart. You could even do both at the same time. It's like chewing bubble gum and rubbing your tummy, but not really. But what we're doing here with tapping your third eye and putting your hand on your heart is you're asking your highest source to guide you and to make it really clear whether this is for you or for someone you know or not. We want you to be clear, okay? The fence is an uncomfortable place. It's not very comfy on the butt. So just be clear, like whichever way clear is for you, right? If you're not clear, but you're like, oh, I want to talk to Sage more, I just have a question that like wasn't answered yet, right? First of all, just ask me today because I'm here. I'm going to stick around with some of you who have questions. So ask your question right away. Or if you're here in replay land, hi, replay land. You can send me an email, you can send me a message, and I'm happy to answer any other questions. I did put together a bunch of questions and answers already, and you might have other questions too. So this is for you really if you want to reclaim your lost power. You want to feel more peaceful and grateful. You want to increase your life force energy, your sexual energy, your sensual energy. I mean, just your sense of being in your body and being in love with life and feeling just like the gorgeous, sexy, amazing goddess that you are, enhancing your creativity and your intuition. And I didn't even put there on the list, but living your purpose is a huge one. I'm seeing so consistently, even though this isn't like a live your purpose program, I'm seeing that almost every single person who's had any kind of mother wound and ancestral healing has had this amazing, like unexpected miracle of feeling a lot more aligned with their purpose. And having more harmony and love in your relationships and feeling more joyful and inspired. So the past life healing, the karmic freedom, the ancestral healing, and also connecting more with the earth. And how many of you feel like Mother Earth needs us? Right? We need her and she needs us, and the time is yesterday. Yep. So we need to connect more with the earth. We need to step into that. Check this out, what Shira has to say. If you scroll down, like, I don't know, maybe a third of the way down, you'll see a testimony from Shira. One thing I do with my VIP clients is we do like a self-assessment before they start the work together. And then after they complete their work together, look at what happened with her scores about right livelihood and purpose. She went from a 1 to a 10. Health, exercise, and energy, she went from a 5 to a 9, 10 being like awesome off the charts and 1 being terrible. Wealth, she went from a 2 to an 8. Love and marriage from a 4 to an 8. Stress reduction, peace and joy from like a 4.5 to a 9. And creativity, she went from a 1 to a 10. I can't tell you what form it's going to take for you, but I can tell you that so far everyone who's had this level of healing has had phenomenal results. And if you feel energy on this, then it's for you. And trust yourself. Trust your heart and your third eye, and trust your energy. Yeah. So the 9 healing gates, I promised you 9, right? And we did a taste and something experiential with the inner child and with forgiveness and loving kindness. Obviously in the program, which is about 4 months, it's like 4 months and a week long, where you're really being supported and held. We're going to get to go deeper, and we have an actual online retreat that's maybe about 3 hours long with a little break in the middle, right? That's more than a class. So don't think of this as a class or a series of classes. It's not a class, not a class. It is a 4+ month temple of goddess and divine feminine healing energy for healing your mother wound, your sister wound, your past lives, your chakras, your energy, and helping you align with and liberate who you truly are, to come out into the world and to play and to shine and to sing and to share your amazing message and your incredible gifts. Your incredible gifts. That is a more accurate way of thinking of this. So the other gates are rebirthing to the Divine Mother. Now, how many of you guys have heard of rebirthing? Right? So there's different techniques for rebirthing. There's like Watsu, where you're in the water. There's breath work. Leonard Orr was big on that in the 70s. There's a lot of different techniques for rebirthing. What I'm bringing to this, and I guess you can sense this by now, especially those of you who know me already, is we're bringing a very spiritual and energy-based, self-love based, and belief-shifting, comprehensive science and spirit, body, mind, heart, and soul approach to this. It's not just psychological, although we do that too, but it's very holistic, very spiritual, very comprehensive. So our rebirthing is not just those other methods of rebirthing. You actually rebirth with the Divine Mother. You are reborn, and she welcomes you. You heal your ancestral lineage. And I know a lot of people have been asking, what about father wound? Like, can we please heal that too? Like, while we're at it. The way that these experiential in-depth retreats, it's a very, very small group. The way that it's done is every single one of you has opportunities to have individual healing. Even though it's a group program, we have what's called heart seats, not hot seats, but heart seats. And you're in the center, and all of your sisters, all of us are praying for you, beaming loving energy for you. And the healing is what you need. So if what you need on a day that you're having a heart seat is father wound, then we can go there. We can absolutely do whatever it is that you need. Past lives, reclaiming your power is gate 5. Gate 6, healing your sexual self, revitalizing your creative spark. And gate 7, awakening your divine goddess essence. If you're not comfortable talking about goddesses, you can like hang up now. And I love you and I bless you, but we're going to be getting goddessy, right? We're going to be connecting with angels. We're going to be really going deep into this magical temple of sisterhood and synergy together. Aligning with your sacred purpose and earth mission. I know a lot of you want that now. You're like, well, you know, I'm in this like whole redefining myself period, and I want to know now. I can tell you that after you've had these other gates of healing, you're going to have so much more clarity. Not just, oh, Sage is telling you and Sage gets a channeled message. Yeah, I can do that. I can do readings. I can do channelings for you, sure. But you getting it directly for yourself, that's what I'm talking about. Okay? You actually being that much more clear and discerning and trusting your own incredible intuitive power and connection to source. That's where you're going to be by gate 8 and 9. Going through gate 9, it's your yoni verse. The yoni is a word for the sexual center for women. That's our yoni. And the male is the lingam. So we're going to go through not just your universe, but your yoni verse, portal into ecstasy and bliss. If that's sounding good so far, you can just type like heck yes or heavens yes or ooh baby or ooh la la and whatever you want to type. You can also type questions, right? So if you have a question about any of this and you're like, ooh, still wondering about that. So we talked about the sister wound. I'm really honored to have that. And I just love this elation, liberation, celebration, enter the goddess temple, and awaken your divine feminine power now. So I'll let you kind of skim through some of those FAQs. There's a silver level, there's a gold level. One question people have is, can I just sign up for silver and upgrade to gold? If there's still an opening in the gold, then sure, right? I work during the week, or what about time zones, and all those kind of questions about logistics. This is probably, I think it's the 13th actually. This is the 13, nice magical goddessy number. This is my 13th online course that I've created. So I've been doing this for quite a while, and I know that people are in different time zones and have different work schedules. So all the retreats are different. There's 3 different days of the week, and there's 3 different times of day. So it's varied, and the schedule is made available to you as soon as you register. So you can do your best to clear your schedule, and you'll have plenty of notice for most of them. You won't necessarily come to all of them live, but you can probably come to some of them, maybe half of them, maybe 2/3 of them, right? And you will have, of course, replays and resources. Doesn't matter what religion you are, but we do get goddessy and chakras and magical and angelly, okay? You're a private person. Sometimes people say, oh, yeah, I want to do a group because I'm a really private person. It is an option to just do this one-on-one without the group. You could also be in the group but not share, which for some people might be appropriate, or even for the first, part of it until they feel comfortable, with the other sisters here. I can tell you that the kind of women that I work with are incredibly positive, heart-centered, spiritual. They're not newbies. They've been doing work on themselves often for decades, and they know how to support and be supported. So it's a very, very safe heart space. And I'm really honored to say that one of the things people say to me most often that they love about all of my programs is how safe and how loved they feel. So you might feel shy at first, then you might start to feel safer to open up. The gold level has the one-on-one. We'll get to that in just a second. Sisterhood, yes. And can you do it on your own without help? Maybe. Right? I don't have a definitive answer for one size fits all because you're all unique. That's one reason why we did the quiz. If your score was like an 8 or less, then maybe you just do that last little vestigial bit, on your own, right? But if your score was like above a 10, above a 15, above a 20, if you're up in that 25, 30, 40, even like a 20 and above kind of zone, you will get through this much more quickly, easily, gracefully, joyfully, lovingly, if you get the support. I needed to get support too. Well, even healers need healing. We know one of the big issues that we have is being willing to receive. Busy, how much time does it take? About 5 hours a month. And then maybe 1 to 4 hours per week. So if you wanted to do the minimum time-wise, or if the first month or two, you're like, I've got other obligations I'm finishing up, or, whatever. You could do just like 5 hours a month and 1 hour a week. That's fine. If you have more time, you could do more. So it's really how much you want. You can adjust it. Quite a lot of it can be done at your own schedule in your own time. So, all right, here's a good question. I've done so many other things already. I've already done a million programs. I've read books. I've gotten healings. I've been to the sacred mountaintop. I've chanted with my feet up behind my head. I've done all these things. I have a million essential oils. I have 75,000 tools in my toolbox. I'm certified. I'm amazing. Why do I need this? What makes this different? To my knowledge, there's no other program, coach, therapist, or anything that offers healing at this level from all these directions: ancestral, past life, soul, energy, emotional, in utero, inner child, sexual, highest self, period. This is it. This is the one that does it. So, and pay attention to the energy, right? If you feel the energy on this, jump in, right? So here's how the jumping in works. we've got a silver and we've got a gold. You can kind of get a sense for what's included. Silver and gold, everybody gets the live online retreats. Everybody gets the replays. Everybody gets a very private, very loving Facebook group. Some of the resources are for silver and gold. There are some bonuses for the gold. But the most important difference between silver and gold is gold gets one-on-one private sessions. They're not just 30 minutes long. They're not just coaching. They're like 2.5 hour long VIP days with me, with the Divine Mother, with the angels, with the Ascended Masters in sacred space, just all about you and helping you help yourself experience the deepest healing possible. So the silver level doesn't have the one-on-one. The gold level has 3 of those VIP retreats whenever you want during the whole program, or even between now and the end of the year. You can have them whenever you like. Now, numbers wise, right? You look at the numbers, you go, well, is that higher than you thought, lower than you thought? Who knows, right? I can say that for comparative purposes, if you were to pay for all these hours with me one-on-one, it would be $16,000, which is why you have this number here. So the value of the silver is about $8,000, and it's a $19.99 one pay. We want to break it up into some payments for those who would like to make it stretchy and easier. And I actually was doing 500 times 5, and then I made it even easier because the angels said 444. I love the 444 number. So you could do 444 times 7, and that would be the silver. If you need some other arrangement, just message me, email me. You know, I'm actually very reasonable to work things out. But I think probably one of those would work for you. And then if you want to do the gold, there is a very limited number of space for the gold. Very, very limited. We have a total of 6 spaces open left for silver. I'm not kidding. There's 6 spaces left open for silver, and there's 3 spaces left open for gold. That's it. Now bonuses. Okay. So everybody, silver or gold, jumping in now, also gets the complete self-love course. And you mentioned it yourselves, right? I saw in the chat, you're like, oh, this is about self-love. I need to deepen my self-love. Yes, you do need to deepen your self-love. There's a whole additional program. You get lifetime access to this. You also get lifetime access, by the way, everyone gets lifetime access to all the resources in the Mother Wound Healing Intensive and the Goddess Temple. So even if you don't get to everything in the next 4 months, you'll have lifetime access. So that's good, you know. For the gold level, I'm also including, this is really a very first chakra oriented. Oops, I have to fix my typo. Sorry about that. This is a first chakra additional course that you do, like a do-it-yourself, you know, online course for health and wealth. So if you have a lot of issues about health and or wealth, this is going to be a great bonus for you. And then for gold, there's also a chakra readings session, a separate session where I will tune in and clairvoyantly read your chakras and your aura and reveal for you exactly what's going on energetically and do some healing for you. So that's an additional session. So actually that would be 10 sessions, right, for the gold. And that might have, you know, like 5 people in or 6 people in it. There's very few gold spaces open because I already have a lot of VIP spaces taken up. So just a small number for gold. And then for gold also, you're going to get the moving meditations, the angelic Tai Chi from Archangel Michael. And this is for connecting with heaven and earth, embodied enlightenment and enlightened embodiment. So that's another bonus. And I mentioned the chakra speed readings. That's part of the healing session, the heal-a-thon. So I think that's basically what we have to share here with you. Wait, what? Okay, getting another download. I'm going to add something for those of you who are actually listening this long. It's not going to be on the website. It's just for you who are listening this long. I'm going to add another one-on-one session. Wow, the angels said to do that. And God has said to do that. So What that means is this. If you sign up for silver, you're going to get one hour one-on-one session with me, even though normally it doesn't have any. But it's only going to be for the next 3 people. I can only do it for the next 3 people. So sign up, you know, and then email me, extra bonus session, please. All right. And the first 3 of you who do that, silver or gold, who aren't enrolled yet, but who jump in quickly, you will have a one-on-one 1 hour private session. For gold, what we're going to do is we're going to give you another session, but it's not going to be 1 hour. It's going to be 2.5 hours. I'm a little crazy generous right now. I can't help it. So instead of 3, you would have 4. So you'd be able to actually schedule 4, which is really nice because there's 4 months to the program. So then you can have like 1 each month, right? So that, but again, that's only going to be for the next 3 people because I only have so many hours to do private sessions. I'm really excited to share that with you. So silver, you'll have 1 hour session if you're one of the first 3 in the temple, and gold, you'll have everything it says here plus 1 extra private VIP. And welcome, welcome, welcome. It's an honor to be with you. The first actual session of the group, hold on to your hat. Some of you know this, a lot of you don't. It's tomorrow. What? And if you can join in tomorrow live, great. If you can't, you will get the replay. And remember, there's 9 of them. Plus you'll have 1 private session, maybe, if you jump in time. And then here you have lots and lots of support, tremendous amount of support, tremendous resources, like forever, lifetimes worth of resources. Healing of lifetimes. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And the website for that, again, is motherwoundhealing.com/temple. Or you can go to motherwoundhealing.com and just click where it says enter the temple. So who has a question? Any questions about the program or the bonuses or what's available? Monica says, I love Sage's work. Thank you. She's been an amazing mentor and healer. She has helped me tremendously with my spiritual purpose business. I highly recommend her. Thank you, Monica. Such a joy seeing how much you've grown. Absolutely. Janet says, I would think everyone at the different levels would benefit. Who would not want it? Right, right. So good. Annie says, okay, so cool. Let me see what else. Wonderful. Yeah, well, we do have the, for those who can't do the 5K, we have the 2K option, and then it's broken down in 2 payments of $444. So $444 gets you a spot, gets you reserved, and then it's just auto pays monthly. Okay, so I will pop back over there and see if there are any other questions. And we're going to hear our channeling now. You guys ready for, are you gals ready? Hi, Amiko. Oh, Amiko's there. Yay. Hi, Jody. So nice to see you. It's great to see those of you who popped on late. Thank you for being patient. And don't worry, there'll be a replay for anything that you missed. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Marianne. I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Diana, I love your smile. And Gail and Carla, I can't wait to be with you. Jan, so hugs. All right. Let's do our channeling, right? Ready for channeling? Give me a yes, or like just go like, woo, like, okay, good. So we're going to do our channeling. Give me 1 second to pull that up. Actually, can we stretch for a second first? Can we just stretch? Yeah, let's just pop up and stretch. Listening to the body and getting better at listening to my body. All right, let's do some waves of love. Let's bring in some hearts of love. Open your heart wings. One more. Okay, now we're going to go the opposite direction, kind of opening like a fountain. Really feel that energy coming up from the earth, through all your chakras. Giving thanks up. Heaven. And one more beautiful heart breath. Good, and give yourself another hug. You totally deserve it. Yay. Okay, now we're gonna have a channeling. Now, in the retreats, in our temple, we have live channeling every time. And it might be the Divine Mother or some form of the Divine Feminine. I am being told that we have lots of forms of the goddess coming through. We're very likely to hear from Kuan Yin, from Mother Mary, from Goddess Isis, maybe from Kali or Pele for things that we need to release, from Gaia. It's very exciting, from Lakshmi. She's the goddess of abundance. It's just going to be an incredible goddess journey. Can't wait. So what we have for you today is, because I never know how long the channelings will be. When I do a live channeling, it could be like an hour long. I'm going to share a just gorgeous, so full of love, short and sweet channeling that I actually did a year ago. And it was the Divine Mother, and it has so much beauty that that's what I was told was perfect for you. Now, here's how we're going to do this. The last words you're going to hear are the Divine Mother, right? So I want us to do our thank you now. So let's just all give thanks. I'm going to unmute everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Goddess
Thank you. Thank you, Sage. Thank you, everyone, for your company.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
See you all in the program.
Absolutely. And feel free to
Hi,
stay
Annie.
longer. You can type questions, and I can set up sessions with you if you have any, you want like a free consultation and kind of feel into it, see if it's right. But if you're
Thank you.
then that's great. It's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay! So good. So blessed. What a joy to be here with all of you. So we're going to pull up our channeling. If you're watching the replay, we do need you to absolutely stop multitasking. Okay, multitasking, and I didn't really see any of you multitasking really, but the channeling is a healing, so let yourself receive. All right. So happy to share this with you. Okay, I have to share my screen. There we go. Ready? Here we go. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you see me like this in like an orange shirt. Yeah. Okay, good. I will make that bigger. Let's just receive this.
Beloved, child of God, beloved, essence of ecstasy, beloved, embodiment of love, beloved, miracle, you. I am your mother, the one who has always been here for you. Your first mother, your forever mother, your always mother. I am the one who held you first. I am the one who fed you at my breast. I am the one in whose sea you have been swimming. I am the one from whom you come, and I am the one to whom you return. I am here. I am within you. I am around you. I am the love you seek and the truth you speak. Touch me now with your heart. And in so doing, beloved, you allow me to touch deeper within you. And you remember You remember who you are. You remember how worthy you are. You remember why you are here. You remember the magic that is you. And you remember that there are no limitations in the sea of love. Now is always the time to begin anew, beloved. Now is always the portal to the past and the gateway to the future. Make a new choice. Receive